Ethan Cole always thought he understood sacrifice. For most of his 30s, his life had been defined by quiet endurance, long hours managing his father's business when illness overtook the old man, nights spent in hospitals balancing paperwork with whispered reassurances, weekends poured into paying bills and ensuring the family legacy didn't collapse. He believed he was doing it for love. Love for his family. Love for Sophia, the woman he had married with the naive conviction that loyalty and effort could weather any storm. But sacrifice, he would come to learn, was meaningless if the ones you were sacrificing for were busy digging knives into your back. At first, Ethan didn't notice the changes, or rather, he explained them away. Sophia seemed distant, distracted during dinners, her phone lighting up with messages she angled away from him. But she was stressed, he told himself. His father's illness, their tight finances, the strain of daily life, it was natural. His younger brother, Ryan, had moved into town around that time too. Ryan was charming, casual in the way younger siblings often were, and he had a talent for making Sophia laugh even when Ethan couldn't. Ethan ignored the flicker of unease when he saw them together. Families were supposed to be close. But then came the small cruelties. Sophia posting glowing pictures online, carefully staged smiles at family dinners, captions about her perfect marriage, while at home she barely touched him. The subtle digs when he was late from the office. And the gaslighting, those moments when he asked if something was wrong and she turned icy, accusing him of being paranoid, controlling, ungrateful. It wore him down. And all the while, Clara, his own mother, seemed to take Sophia's side. She just needs space, Ethan, Clara would murmur with a sympathetic smile that didn't reach her eyes. Don't smother her. Women need to feel free. He believed them both, because the alternative, that his wife and mother might be colluding against him, was unthinkable. The truth came crashing down on an ordinary Tuesday night. Ethan had gone to fix the Wi-Fi router in Sophia's car. She'd been complaining about it not connecting to her work hotspot. While shifting the seat back, his hand brushed against something wedged deep between the cushion and the console. A phone. Not her regular one. It was old, cheap, with a cracked screen. A burner. His stomach tightened as he thumbed it awake. No passcode. And there, in plain sight, were weeks of messages. Can't wait to see you again. Same hotel. Last night was incredible. He'll never know. You're all I ever wanted. Ryan. His brother. Ethan's world tilted on its axis. When Sophia came home later, humming softly as though nothing were wrong, Ethan sat in the living room, the burner phone heavy in his hand. Where did you get this? He asked quietly. Her eyes darted to the phone, then back to him. For a moment, fear flashed across her face. Then her mask slid into place. That's not mine, she said quickly. You're invading my privacy, Ethan. You're imagining things again. He wanted to believe her. God, he wanted to. But the proof sat glowing in his palm. And when Clara showed up the next morning, uninvited, telling him he was misunderstanding things and risking the family's reputation with wild accusations, the pieces began to fall together in a way that made him sick. They weren't just betraying him, they were protecting each other. The weeks that followed were a blur of lies, confrontations, and silence. Sophia denied everything, even when faced with the messages. Ryan smirked whenever Ethan tried to talk to him, brushing him off with condescension. Clara begged him not to tear the family apart. And then came the final blow. Sophia filed for divorce, not quietly, publicly, with accusations that Ethan was controlling, unstable, even abusive. She painted herself as the victim, carefully curating the narrative online so friends and acquaintances whispered in sympathy whenever they saw her. Ethan felt like he was drowning, until the day his lawyer, Matthew, leaned across the desk and said, "You have evidence. We can fight this." The burner phone, financial records showing strange withdrawals, hotel receipts, enough to peel back the facade Sophia and Ryan had built. And so the stage was set. A courtroom, a judge, a family ripped apart under oath. The courtroom smelled of varnished wood and stale tension. Sophia sat across from him, elegant in her carefully chosen dress, her expression the picture of dignified suffering. Ryan lounged a few seats back, arrogance radiating from him. Clara was in the front row, her lips pressed thin, eyes darting between her sons. Ethan sat stiffly beside Matthew, hands clenched to stop their shaking. The proceedings began with Sophia's lawyer painting Ethan as a neglectful husband who abandoned his wife emotionally while burying himself in his father's business. Sophia dabbed her eyes at the right moments, the perfect picture of wounded innocence. Then it was Ethan's turn. Matthew rose, his voice calm but sharp. "Your Honor, we have reason to believe that Mrs. Cole has been less than truthful in her portrayal of this marriage. We will provide evidence to that effect." Whispers rippled through the gallery. The burner phone was presented. printed. The messages read aloud. Each word echoed like a hammer blow. Sophia shifted in her seat, her mask cracking under the weight of exposure. Ryan's smirk faltered for the first time, but the real moment of collapse came during cross-examination. "Mrs. Cole," Matthew said, pacing slowly, "can you explain why your private messages to Ryan, your husband's brother, describe romantic and physical encounters?" Sophia's lawyer objected. Overruled. Sophia stammered, eyes darting toward Clara. Those were jokes. Misunderstood. Jokes that correspond with hotel receipts. Matthew pressed, holding up the documents. "Receipts paid for on your joint account." Her silence was answer enough. Gasps filled the courtroom. Clara sank back in her seat, her face drained of color. Ethan, for the first time in months, felt a flicker of control return. The judge ruled decisively. Sophia's credibility was shredded. Ryan's smugness evaporated under the glare of public disgrace. Clara, who had quietly tried to support Sophia's narrative, was chastised by the judge for interfering. Ethan was granted the house, financial control, and primary custody of his reputation. But victories in court didn't mend the devastation inside. Nights were still long and hollow. He replayed every conversation with Sophia, every smile that now seemed like a mask, every moment his mother had chosen lies over him. It was Sophia who broke first. Weeks after the verdict, she appeared at his door, eyes hollow. "Ethan, please," she whispered. "We can fix this. I made mistakes, but we were good once." He looked at her for a long time, memories of their wedding day flickering against the image of her in that courtroom, lying through her teeth. "No," he said quietly. "We were never good. I just refused to see the truth." He closed the door. Recovery wasn't dramatic. It was slow. Therapy sessions where Ethan learned to name the manipulation for what it was. Quiet evenings spent relearning what peace felt like. The cautious rebuilding of friendships he'd neglected during the years he tried to hold his family together. Clara tried to reach out, too. Tearful phone calls, letters full of excuses. But Ethan had drawn a boundary he never thought he'd need with his own mother. "You chose them over me," he told her once, his voice steady. "And now I'm choosing myself." Ryan disappeared into obscurity, his reputation tainted. Sophia's carefully curated online image collapsed under the weight of exposed hypocrisy. And Ethan, he wasn't the same man who once believed sacrifice alone could sustain love. He was scarred, yes, but also sharper, stronger, more awake, because betrayal, as brutal as it was, had given him something unexpected: clarity. Ethan stood one evening at the edge of his father's old property, watching the sun set across the fields he had once managed alone. The pain was still there, it probably always would be, but so was something else. A quiet conviction that he had survived the worst his family could throw at him. And that survival wasn't just enough. It was freedom.